Do you like adjectives? Big Bad Toy Store has twice as many adjectives as some other leading toy stores. Click the link in the description below and never buy from stores with minimally modified names again. Now watch my video. Hello and welcome to VR Reviews. Today we'll be reviewing the KT Project 15th Century Gothic Field Armor. So yes, here we have our Gothic Field Armor, specifically the bronze variant of the Gothic Field Armor. KT Project is sort of a Revoltech line of various things, armor, skeletons, dragons, just random stuff really. And they recently released a couple of knights. This is the bronze variant, the normal one is silver, and then there's another variant that's really shiny and red. I went with this one as I thought it just looked a bit cooler, and I guess a lot of other people did too, because it sold out very quickly. And he's basically just a set of worn bronze armor with some cool weapons and stuff. Probably a good thing to add to your collection if you're a fan of sword and sorcery style of fantasy, or just old historical sets of armor. Starting off with a quick size comparison, of course here we have our field armor. Here's our standard Marvel Legends 6-inch Cosmic Armor Iron Man and 3 3/4-inch Marvel Universe Wolverine. As you would expect, the field armor is standard Japanese 1/12 scale, so it's noticeably shorter than an American 6-inch scale figure, and of course much bigger than a 3 3/4-inch figure. Now let's get everything else out of here and just look at our field armor. Moving on to our 360 spin, the armor is meant to look like tarnished bronze, so the entire thing is dark with blue accenting, and I think it captures the effect very well, and all the sculpting is really nice. All the armor plates are sculpted very well and intricately, and I have no real complaints about any of that. He looks pretty much exactly like an old set of bronze armor. Head sculpt wise, you get a fairly smooth helmet with a bit of riveting detail, and it does match the color scheme of the rest of the armor, and you can open up the visor if you want, but there is no face inside, as this is meant to be more of just a suit of armor than an actual person. So no real complaints about any of that. Articulation wise, as you would expect from a Revoltech figure, pretty much everything's on revolver joints, so they're ratcheted and hinge and rotate on both sides. Hinge and rotation in the head and neck, so you can get decent range of motion there. Butterfly joints, hinge and rotation in the shoulder, hinge and rotation in the elbow, hinge and rotation in the wrist, hinge and rotation in the waist, hinge and rotation in the hips, hinge and rotation in the knees, and hinge and rotation in the ankles. Pretty much all of his armor pieces that are on joints will move out of the way to allow for articulation, so you should be able to get him into pretty much any pose you really want to. Accessories wise, you get a few things. You get 2 sets of hands, a set of relaxed hands, and a set of holding hands. Then you get a short one-handed pointy stabby sword, a large 2-handed sword, and a tiny mace. So that's a reasonable assortment of weapons and the hands with which to hold them, and they all match the color of his armor. And then you do get a foot peg stand for him, which also opens up and doubles as a place to store the smaller accessories for him. Packaging wise, you get a large windowless box, picture of the figure on the side, Takeyashiki Jizayo Kimono, or however you say that, I tried. Then some Japanese stuff I can't read, 15th century Gothic field armor, bronze. And on the back you get some pictures and poses for the figure, and some other stuff in Japanese that I can't read. Unfortunately, since you don't get a window, this is not really good for in-package display, so you're probably going to want to open him up. And that about wraps it up for our Gothic field armor, so until next time, goodbye.